Hey guys, welcome back. So today we want to talk about an affordable pistol. Now, a lot of times I'll do videos and people will comment, well, you're talking about expensive items like H&K. You don't talk about items that just regular people would be interested in. And I try to cover just about everything. But if I do one video talking about something more expensive, then people just forget about every other video I've ever done. But today I want you guys to notice that I'm doing a video about an affordable handgun. And this is the Falcon 9 XC. This is from Live Free Armory, and it's very affordable. Now, this is a more tricked out version, and we'll talk about it, but I also want to let you guys know that even though this handgun is, has night sights on it and a compensator, they have an entry-level handgun that is far less expensive as well, under $400, and this one is under $600. So, and I'm not giving specific pricing because YouTube moderators like to accuse us of trying to sell you guns, and that's not what we're doing. We're just reviewing firearms here. So anyway, we're going to take a closer look at the Falcon 9 XC that you see here from Live Free Armory, talk a little bit about it, and give you some impressions I have of the handgun, and do I think it's worth the investment that they're asking for. So let's take a closer look at the Live Free Armory Falcon 9 XC. When I was younger, I lived in Army surplus stores. That's what we called them anyway. Yeah, some people call them Army Navy stores, whatever. Surplus stores. Lived in them, loved them, really looked forward to the days that I got to go typically on the weekends when I was in high school. Well, in 2025, surplus stores are kind of hard to find. And the surplus stores that we once knew as kids, well, they're long gone. And the stuff that you will find in these stores typically is like party favors, like leather motorcycle jackets and weird stuff, cheap knives and weird things like that. Well, Venture Surplus is online, and they're like your classic surplus store. They have constantly rotating stock. They have actual government surplus, BDUs, boonie hats, gloves, hatch gloves, anything you can think of. And it's just amazing to go through. There's just page after page after page of actual military surplus and tested items. And so you can find things like this Condor jacket, but then you can find proper BDUs. You can find just about anything you're looking for and really fair pricing. Another thing that they have that I thought was interesting are actual MREs. And these things are somewhat iconic. Now, you either love or hate MREs, but you can't deny the fact that they're great long-term food storage items that are shelf-stable for years, depending on when you buy them, when they were manufactured. But the over at Venture Surplus, they don't just have MREs, they also have just dried goods, long-term storage food that's shelf-stable from 5 years to 30 years. Everything you need. So it's a great place to check out. I highly recommend swinging by and checking out Venture Surplus. I'll drop a link in the video description below. The first thing that I noticed about the Falcon 9 XC was this grip angle, right? It turns in here towards the toe of the grip, where a regular Glock will have polymer that comes out to here. And what that does is when you hold it in your hand with the additional polymer out here, it pushes that muzzle up. And so with the Glock, you have to cock your wrist forward to get a sight picture and get the weapon on target. And I struggled with that when I first started shooting Glocks, but once you master it, it does work nicely. And with your wrist cocked forward, it does help with recoil management, things like that. So people do like that grip angle. However, if you go from a Glock to any other handgun, 1911 SIG, whatever, the grip angle is going to be completely different. And so you're going to have to relearn how to shoot other handguns if you get used to that Glock grip angle. I certainly had to. But with this, it has a more conventional grip angle, which makes it look a little bit narrow down here. But boy, does it feel good in your hand. Now, I have large hands and large, long fingers, and Jason has shorter hands with shorter fingers. And for both of us, this gun feels really, really good. So down here, first of all, we're going to talk about the magazines. This is a standard 17-round Magpul magazine, but we'll use Glock mags. This is a 17 length grip here. The barrel on it is a little over 4 inches in length, so it's more of a Glock 19 barrel and a Glock 17 grip frame, kind of like the 19X. All right, so it comes with Magpul magazines, 2 in the box. Here you can see the aluminum mag funnel, so it makes reloads quick and easy. Back here, you're going to see an aluminum back strap. It comes with 2 in the box, so this is a replaceable item. Here you can see the texturing. It's not overly done. It may look really aggressive in video, but it's not sharp. It doesn't have really sharp ridges to it at all. So it shouldn't be too much against bare skin, but I would probably still wear a cover garment between the pistol and myself. You can see the texturing on the front of the grip and over here to the side. Now you also notice it has a large beaver tail that comes out here to protect from slide bite. Large magazine release, which is reversible. You'll notice it has a slide release on both sides of the gun, so it's ambi friendly. Both sides. Coming forward, we have a nice deep undercut under the trigger here. Lets the gun set nice and deeply in the hand. Have a secondary cut here So you can get a nice deep grip on that gun, which definitely feels really, really good and definitely helps with recoil management. Coming forward, you'll notice that there's this little shelf. It kind of goes out at a little bit of an angle, and it's textured, and it's present on both sides. And so your index finger can rest nicely on it, but your support hand, the thumb, can rest nicely on it too. And it just feels really, really good. The whole gun has some of the best ergonomics. The trigger guard is enlarged, so you'll notice it's larger. One of my complaints about the Glock 19 I carried for many years was when I put a glove on it. It gets cold here in Indiana. I put a big, thick winter glove on. I couldn't get my finger into the trigger guard without depressing the trigger, so I stopped carrying it and went to other pistols, double action pistols, things like that, CZs and stuff, to get around that in the wintertime. Moving forward, we have an accessory rail here underneath. I should also point out that this is an aluminum trigger. It does have the dingus, I like to call it, which is the inertial safety on it. And I'll get a trigger pull weight for you guys. Taking a look at the slide, you can see it has additional lightning cuts in it. It looks really sharp. The serrations aren't super sharp at all. The edges feel nicely rounded, dehorned, but there's enough there to get a grip on the gun very easily. You'll notice that they do have cuts on the X9C all the way through, the 9XC, I should say, all the way through the slide here, cosmetic. On the front, we see a single port comp, tall, high-vis night sight, front sight, tall rear sight that's just serrated. And then we have an RMR cut, and on top of it, we have a hollow sun red dot sight. So overall, fit and finish looks really sharp on the gun. Let's go ahead and take it apart really quick and look at it on the inside. I'm going to drop that magazine out. Let it is clear. Go ahead and let that slide go home. I'm going to point it in a safe direction. Pull the trigger, slightly pull the slide to the rear, pull down the takedown tabs, and just push the slide off the frame. And now you can see what it looks like on the inside. Pretty standard fare, so it's going to use a lot of Glock accessories if you wish to customize it a bit. Gen 4, Gen 5, recoil spring, nested, captured. Here's its barrel. Again, about the same length as a Glock 19. You can see that it's fluted. It is a cut barrel. It is not polygonal rifling. And it does use standard Glock type sights. You can see the screw there in the front. And the fitment is nice and snug. I mean, it seems to be nicely fit given the price. Oops. I really do prefer the grip angle of this pistol. It seems to fit my hand very, very well. And again, that more neutral grip angle just makes it much easier for me to pick up the red dot sight on the handgun. Yeah, very familiar feeling. Feels a bit like a Glock, but completely different feeling. And it's, again, attributable, I think, to that angle that it has. But yeah, does the compensator work? Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a highly effective comp. I can tell it's there. It's not making a huge difference, but it is a 9mm, so it's not like it has a bunch of recoil anyway. All right, so when you pick up your pistol, it will come in this cardboard box. Inside, you'll find a nylon bag, a cleaning kit, safety lock, a couple of Magpul 17-round magazines, this little nylon range bag that goes in there. Here's your extra back strap. This one's polymer with texturing on it. This is just my plate cover I took off before I put the hollow sun on. So a nice little range bag. And again, the pricing on these is very competitive. You're going to find that this gun, with all of its extra features, with its different cosmetics, the RMR cut, the compensator, night sights, all that stuff, is still going to come in under $600. So it's going to put it in a price point comparable to the baseline Glock, for example. And then the entry-level gun that I talked about earlier in the video, just the base Falcon 9, is less than $400. So it's very competitively priced for those of you out there looking for a handgun that you don't want to break the bank, right? You want something that's quality, something that's compatible with parts that are already on the market. Well, this handgun may scratch that itch. So yes, I think for the amount of money invested in it, I do think that it's a decent handgun for the money. It works just fine. I've shot it It used 115 grain Federal, 124 grain Federal. I haven't put any hollow points through it. I'm not carrying it, but I see no reason why it wouldn't function just fine with different types of hollow points out there. But definitely, if you buy a handgun, any handgun, I don't care who makes it, whatever your carry ammo is, make sure you put a pretty healthy diet through it to make sure the gun's going to work with whatever that carry ammo is. There's so many different flavors out there. I couldn't hope to do a comprehensive test here at the Military Arms channel. So if you have any questions about the Live Free Armory Falcon 9 XC, you can ask those questions down below. I do try to stick around for a couple of days after I post a new video to answer questions you guys may have. If you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms channel so we can continue to bring you content like this, consider becoming part of our Patreon family. Again, there's a link in the video description below. Also, right here underneath the video player you're watching right now, you got a join and subscribe button and a play button. Click either one of those buttons, not the play button, and you can help support us right here on YouTube in the age of demonetization. Thank you for 17 years of support. Swing by, check out Copper Custom. We'll talk to you guys soon.